Pleasant morning, everybody. So, for today's lesson, I am going to discuss Introduction to Nursing Research. This is for the subject Nursing Research 1 lecture. Okay, so let us start. So, we will first discuss the different definition of terms. First, we have the term research. So, when we say research, it simply seeks the answer of certain questions which have not been answered so far. That is according to SIN 2006. Now, to expound on this definition, I would like to ask you, is the answer to the question in examination also research? Again, kapag ba ikaw ay nagsasagot ng iyong exam, ikaw ba ay nagre-research? So definitely the answer is no. Okay? Hindi ka nagre-research or yung sagot um, sa examination mo or sa iyong test is not research. Okay? So we already have answers to the questions in an exam, right? And again, research answers only those questions which the answers are not available in literature. So, ibig sabihin, magkoconduct ka lang ng research if you do not have an answer to the problem that you have identified. So, that's very important to remember. Okay? So, I hope clear tayo dun. Next definition. So, it is a systematic inquiry designated to further our knowledge and understanding of a subject that is according to Halt. So, when we say a key term there is systematic inquiry, and when we say systematic inquiry, we follow a step-by-step process. It is organized and orderly to advance what we know or what we do not know. And then the third definition came from Kerlinger. It is a scientific way of providing answers to questions or solutions to problems. The key term there is scientific. And when we say scientific, diba, we use different methods empirically for the identified problem. Okay, so for example, diba, sa scientific method, you are following a step-by-step process um, mula doon sa pagkaka-identify mo ng iyong problem until you come up with your conclusion. Okay? So, ganun din si research. So, we follow a rigorous step-by-step process. So, another definition. So, research is a systematic inquiry that uses disciplined methods to answer questions or solve problems. So, remember, research, di ba, is to search again and again. Kaya nga, research. Ibig sabihin, to search again and again or to examine carefully. So most specifically, research is diligent, systematic inquiry or investigation to validate and refine existing knowledge and generate new knowledge. So that definition came from Pollitt and Beck. Another definition, it is a systematic, controlled, empirical, and critical investigation of hypothetical propositions about presumed relations among phenomena. So that came from Tachman. So medyo um, critical yung definition na to. So we have there a key term, hypothetical. And we are referring here to hypothesis. When you say hypothesis, we are referring to a supposition or an assumption made on the basis of limited evidence as a starting point for further investigation. I'm sure na narinig niyo na when you say hypothesis, we refer to, this is also referred or termed as an educated guess. Okay, so hypothesis, again, it is an educated guess. Okay, so also from Tachman's definition, we can identify here the different characteristics of research, diba? Sa definition niya, we can point out the different characteristics of research. Systematic, di ba? Nasabi ko na kanina, systematic. It is a step-by-step process or procedure. Empirical. Research is empirical. And when you say empirical, the data gathered, the empirical is the data that you have gathered through your senses. Okay, these are the data gathered through our senses. And when you say senses, definitely we use observation, or we observe, and they are measurable using definitely our senses. And then controlled, another characteristic of research, the methods of controlling, or we are, kasi sa research, we have a research design. Okay? So we follow a research design to minimize bias. So we plan ahead, okay, when we are going to conduct a research, and then we follow a specific design. And that is again to minimize biasness. And then critical investigation. So when we say critical investigation, this is the information gained in the form of data or facts. Again, para ma-perform natin ito ng unbiased manner or objective tayo. So those are the characteristics of research. It is systematic, it is controlled, empirical, and critical investigation. Okay, so remember, research is the most reliable means of obtaining knowledge. Okay, research is the most reliable means of obtaining knowledge. So those are the different definitions of research. Now, the second term na i-define natin is definitely nursing research. Okay, so when we say nursing research, it is a systematic, objective process of analyzing phenomena of importance to nursing. Meaning, ang ibig sabihin ng nursing research, simply you are conducting research that is related in the field of nursing. So that is nursing research. So it includes all studies concerning the nursing profession, and these are the nursing practice, nursing education, and nursing administration. Okay, so that is the broad definition of nursing research. So to be called nursing research, study results must directly or indirectly affect clinical nursing practice. Again, para masabi na nursing research yan, yung study mo, or I mean the study results must directly or indirectly affect the clinical nursing practice. Okay? It should have an influence, directly man or indirectly, to the nursing practice. So that is nursing research. So we have a term na clinical nursing research then. Okay? So clinical nursing research, it is a research involving clients. Clinical nursing research, potential for affecting the care of the client. So meaning you are going to conduct a clinical nursing research because it has a potential for affecting the care of the clients. So meaning these are the studies that have a bearing in the provision of nursing care to our clients. And who are these clients? Sino ba yung mga clients natin? So it can be an individual patient or person, group, family, or the community. Okay? So clinical nursing research, ito yung mga research na involves those clients of ours. Okay? So, in providing care to these patients, ito yung binibigay natin sa kanila na nanggaling or na ng research natin. Okay? Now, what are the different examples of nursing research questions? So, ito lang, just to give you an overview lang of an example of NR questions. So, first, ito ay isa sa possible na para may idea kayo kung ano ba ang example ng nursing research question. So, what does having a positive attitude mean for patients undergoing treatment for cancer? So, that is one. Second, how do adults with acquired brain injury perceive their social interactions and relationships? So you see, it's all about our patients. So ito ay the research na the given example here is directly affects or directly related to our clients. Okay, to our client. So ito lang yung example ng ating nursing research question. Okay, so we're done with the definition of terms. Now we proceed to another part of the discussion, which is about the importance of nursing research. Ano ba yung significance of conducting nursing research? So number one is to promote evidence-based nursing practice. So as a nurse, madalas yung maririnig to kapag ka kayo ay nag-aaral ng nursing research. So evidence-based practice or evidence-based nursing practice or EBP. So evidence-based nursing practice, it means we perform nursing interventions for our clients that are validated by nursing research. Okay? So this way, we can ensure that the services or the care that we render to our clients are proven effective and based on science or evidence available to us. So ito yung mga interventions, nursing care na binibigay natin sa ating mga pasyente na proven by researchers. Okay, proven by a research study na. Okay, so sabihin, it underwent a rigorous study, a rigorous research, kaya natin ina-apply sa ating mga pasyente, especially in the hospital. So that's number one. That is evidence-based nursing practice. Second, we have ensure credibility of the nursing profession. So again, this is another a significance of conducting nursing research. It will ensure credibility to our profession, which is nursing. So nursing research makes nursing a credible profession. If definitely as a nurse, kapag ikaw ay nagko-conduct ng research, it will make you a credible nurse. It makes our profession more credible. It gives us more credibility. Third, provide accountability for nursing practice. As we nurses become more independent in performing our roles, we are expected to be accountable to those who receive our care. So we must have a sound rationale for our actions based on the knowledge that is gained through research. So yung mga care na binibigay natin sa ating pasyente, we are accountable sa mga ginagawa natin sa kanila. Okay, that's very important. We are responsible to all our actions. Okay, we're accountable for what we do to our patient. Okay? Number four, document the cost. Another significance to, ano, of conducting nursing research, to document the cost effectiveness of nursing care. So when you say cost effectiveness, it is a degree to which something is effective in the least amount of cost, or it is a productiveness at the minimum cost, which is very important, ano, due to an increasing healthcare costs, especially here in our country. Ang mahal kayang ma-hospital, di ba? Ang mahal mag-avail ng healthcare service, especially here in our country. Okay, next, number five, to develop valid generalizations using a systematized science. So I'll just run through the other significance, ano, the other importance of nursing research. So number six, to provide basis for decision making in business, industry, education, government, and in other undertakings. So if, for example, a leader, a supervisor, or a president of an organization is torn in or nahihirapan siyang mag-decide because of several reasons. So he or she can conduct first a research para ma-enlighten siya before he can make a decision. Next, another importance is to satisfy researchers' curiosity. to find answers to queries by means of scientific methods, and to expand or verify existing knowledge. So these are the reasons why it is important for us nurses to conduct nursing research. These are just several reasons. Ano? Marami pang iba, pero these are the most important na you have to know as a nursing student. Next part would be we will be discussing the different roles of nurses in research. So ano ba yung mga roles nating mga nurses kapag tayo ay tasked to conduct a research. So number one, the first role or a role that we can play is as a principal investigator or PI, principal investigator. It is an individual who assumes full responsibility for a research study. So that is principal investigator. Parang ikaw yung pinaka-lead or ikaw yung nagko-conduct talaga ng research if you are alone. You are the principal investigator. Okay? Second, you can also perform a role as a member of a research team. So research can be conducted by a team or a group of researchers. So therefore, nurses can be a member in a research team performing a specific um, role or specific task, okay, which may be assigned by the lead researcher. Okay? So third, identifier of researchable problems. So maybe the nurse was the one who has pointed out or raised the research problem. So kapag for example, kayo yung naka-identify ng problem, so that can be your role. Or pwedeng kayo ay makapag-suggest ng problem, makapag-identify ng problem, and then you coordinate and you collaborate with your colleagues or with researchers to come up or to solve the problem that you have identified. Okay? Number four, evaluator of research findings. So in nursing research, a nurse may play as an evaluator or like a critic, okay, examining the rigor, the correctness, among others, of the conducted research. So i-evaluate mo yung research findings or pwedeng the whole um, manuscript of the research. Number five, user of research findings. So definitely, as a nurse, kapag may mga napapublish na research studies, okay, and it is very relevant in our field, we can utilize this research. Kaya nga dinidisseminate yung information. Dissemination of research results and findings are very critical para nakakarating yung significant results na to sa ating nursing practice. Okay, sa mga ating nurses talaga. That's very important. That's very critical. Okay, yung dissemination of research findings. And then patient or client advocate during studies. So you can also play this role. And then subject or participant in studies. So you can also play the role of a respondent or as a participant in a research study. Okay, so those are the different roles, okay, na pwede nating i-play in a research. Next, we now proceed to the evolution of nursing research. At this point, we are going to understand how nursing research evolved over time. So we are going to look at the history of nursing research. So first, we have the 1850s up to 1859. So you have here Florence Nightingale, and you already know who is she, right? So Florence Nightingale, she influenced healthcare in general and nursing more specifically. So Florence Nightingale, the first professional nurse, the lady with the lamp, the mother of nursing. Okay? So yun yung mga terms na ginagamit natin when we heard her name. Okay? So she called for research that focuses on nursing practice, and she used statistics to clearly illustrate her findings. So earlier pa by uh, sa katauhan ni Florence Nightingale, she already performed statistics or used statistics, okay, to provide solutions to the problems that she had identified. Okay, so for an example is soldier morbidity and mortality rate. Okay, so ito yung mga statistics na kanyang inorganize, yung na kanyang um, in-stipulate or kumbaga inayos. Okay, ito yung mga statistics that she gathered. Okay, and then she reported, and then eventually she did something to solve the problems. Now, gather data. So Florence Nightingale also gathered data on environment. And these are, ito yung kanyang mga naging focus: ventilation, temperature, cleanliness, diet, and the purity of water. So, na-identify niya na itong lima na to are very important, and it has an impact on patients' health. Okay? So, her inventions resulted mortality rate from 43% during the Crimean War, di ba? So, she worked before um, sa Crimean War, and she had noticed na the mortality rate is 43%. And when she uh, intervened, okay, inayos niya to, nakita niya na it has to be corrected: the ventilation, the temperature, cleanliness, diet, and purity of water sa mga soldiers during the Crimean War. Ito yung problema nila. So nung inayos niya to, the mortality rate from 43% went down to 2% during the war. So mas konti na yung namatay because naayos niya yung mga environmental conditions na to, which has an impact on patients' health. And then Florence Nightingale also published um, notes in nursing. Okay, notes in nursing to ha, notes in nursing. So she published notes in nursing in 1859, and then in 1900s, the American Nursing Journal begins publication. That is in 1900. Okay, so most 1900s to 1940s, it concerned nursing education or nurses education. So from 1900 to 1940s, the concern is more on nurses education. Okay, so there is limited research activity. So wala masyadong mga activities in terms of nursing research. So 1909, so this is the first university-based nursing program was established, and that is the University of Minnesota. That is in 1909. Okay, the first university-based nursing program was established. 1923, a well-known study of nursing or nursing education. So we have here conducted by the Committee of the Study of Nursing Education that is funded by the Rockefeller Foundation, and it is referred to as by the Goldmark report, and recommended an advanced educational preparation for teachers, administrators, and public health nurses. So si Goldmark report, ito yung nag-recommend, okay, na dapat may advanced educational preparation yung mga teachers, yung mga administrators, and even nurses. And then in 1924, first doctoral program for nurses or registered nurse, that is in Teachers College, Columbia. Okay, and that doctoral program is the Doctor of Education, EDD. 1927, Jean Broadhurst and colleagues they identified the hand washing procedure. Okay, so dito nag-surface yung ating hand washing. So that's in 1927. So Jean Broadhurst and colleagues. And then nursing research in 1950s up to 1960s. So research emerged as a high priority during this time, 1950s up to 1960s. And then we have a prominent nursing leaders here in the likes of Virginia Henderson. So Virginia Henderson, you know her, the need theory, and she is also known as the first lady of nursing. And then another nursing leader, we have si Faye Glenn Abdella. She was an American pioneer in nursing research. So her theory, patient-centered approach to nursing, is considered a human needs theory. So silang dalawa yung ating prominent leaders ng 1950s to 1960s. And those were some of their contributions. 1952, first issue of nursing research was published. Okay, that's 1952. 1960s, terms such as theoretical framework, conceptual model, nursing process began to appear in the lift. So ito yung mga mahalagang terms na associated with nursing research. So nag-surface siya noong 1960s. Now, nursing research in 1970 naman tayo. 1970, we have 1970s, groundwork ito for clinical research. Okay, and then up to now. So we have new research journals during this period. You have the Western Journal of Nursing Research noong 1979, Advances in Nursing Science, 1978, and Research in Nursing and Health noong 1979. 1972, American Nursing Association established Department of Nursing Research. 1976, Commission of NR of the ANA recommended research preparation in the undergraduate, graduate, and CPE program. Kaya tayo merong nursing research sa program nyo ngayon, BSN curriculum, and in the graduate studies and in CPE program. That's because of this. Okay, 1976. The recommendation of ANA, American Nursing Association. So inadapt din natin yun here in the Philippines. Now, nursing research in 1980, the focus of nursing research is on the conduct of clinical nursing research. So, 1983 Annual Review of Nursing Research, first volume was published noong 1983. And di ba, during this era, 1980s, this is the computer era, di ba? Dito na tayo nagkaroon ng computer. Okay, so the annual review of nursing research contains summaries of current research evidence, encourage utilization of research findings. Okay, so 1985, Sigma Theta Tau International was the first organization to fund nursing research in the US. Okay, so awarding $600 grant to Alice Chris Malone in so yun. So Sigma Theta Tau International was the first organization to fund nursing research in the United States, awarding $600 grant to Alice Chris Malone. Okay. And then 1986 National Center for Nursing Research, NCNR, at the National Institutes of Health. So dito, they promote and support research projects and trainings related to patient care. So, ayan yung mga development natin in nursing research. Now, 1990, so research on health promotion and illness prevention, and then outcomes research. So when we say outcomes, research, it came out as important methodology or focus. So ito yung mga significant um, events during for the nursing research in 1990. Okay, so ang focus during this time is health promotion and illness prevention and outcomes research. Now, we have here the NINR, di ba? Nabanggit kanina, NINR. So, National Institute of Nursing Research. It was officially established within the National Institutes of Health, NIH, noong June 10, 1993. So it replaced the National City Center for Nursing Research, or the NCNR, and it is one of the 27 institutes that comprise the National Institute of Health. So with this, nursing research received a big boost of respect. So there is an increased funding or support sa mga research, clinical and basic research, and research training on health and illness. So that's NINR, okay, National Institute of Nursing Research. And then another one, we have the Cochrane Collaboration and Cochrane Nursing Care Field. So this was established in 1993. It is an international nonprofit organization with the goal of helping healthcare um, providers, patients, and their advocates, and to make a well-informed decisions about healthcare, prepares, updates, and product systematic reviews based on research studies. Okay, so ayan. Tapos noong 1984, additional information, the first issue of Qualitative Nursing Research was published. Okay, so that is a journal. Now, ano yung ating future directions of nursing research? So that is promotion of excellence in nursing practice. So many nurses, guys, lack a true understanding of the interrelationship among education or theory, research, and practice. And it is its importance to the continuing development of nursing as a profession. Okay, so marami sa mga nurses hindi alam yung interrelationship between these three things or three concepts, so si education, si research, and si practice. Now, in applied disciplines such as nursing, practice is based on the theories acquired through our extensive education that are validated through research. Thus, education, research, and practice affect each other in a reciprocal, cyclical, and interactive way, as shown in this figure. Okay? So that's how intertwined si education or si theory, si research, and si practice. Okay? So again, um, the prominent future direction is the promotion of excellence in nursing practice in collaboration with this with educate nursing education, nursing research. Other future directions of nursing research increase focus on biophysiologic research, promotion of evidence-based nursing practice. Ayan, very ano na yan ngayon, common na siya ngayon. Very aware na tayo dyan. So, promotion of evidence-based nursing practice, that is another direction of nursing research. Increase focus on outcomes research, and then expanded dissemination of research findings. Diba? I mentioned earlier how critical is the dissemination or sharing of research results and findings um, to the public. Okay? Sa mga nurses natin, since they are the ones na talagang gagamit ng mga results and findings of the research. Okay, so that is for the evolution of nursing research or the history. So that's That's just a concise or brief discussion of the history of nursing research. Now, we proceed to the purposes of nursing research. What are the different purpose? So first, we have basic research. So in general pala, no? So the purpose of nursing research is to answer. The purpose of nursing research is to answer questions or solve problems of relevance to the nursing profession. Now, to understand this, we can classify research according to the general purpose of the study. Okay? So, first we have basic research or BR. So, this is the basic research is used to develop, test, and refine theories and generate new knowledge. So that is one purpose of conducting research, specifically basic research, to develop, test, and refine theories and generate new knowledge. So basic research also, this is knowledge for knowledge sake. So kinokonduct natin siya to acquire more knowledge. And when it comes to immediate application of result, sa basic research, usually wala siyang immediate application of the result. It does not occur, okay, for basic research. Basic research will be helpful in discovering new principles. Example ng basic research could be in-depth study to understand normal grieving process. Again, an example of basic research is an in-depth study to understand normal grieving process. So we generate new knowledge, new understanding when this research was conducted. Next, second purpose would be applied research. Okay, so for applied research or AR, so we use knowledge to solve immediate problems naman. So this is the opposite of basic research. Sa applied research, we use knowledge to solve immediate problems. So this is again the application of basic research. It seeks solutions to existing problems, developing new skills or approaches to solve problems with direct application to phenomena. An example of applied research are is an nursing intervention for patients and their families. Okay, yung mga nursing interventions na naibibigay natin in the care of our patients and their families that that will fall under the applied research. Okay, so it has an immediate application in the nursing practice. Okay, next, third purpose, research to achieve varying levels of explanation. So these are the specific purposes of nursing research. So you have identification, description, exploration, explanation, prediction, and control. Let me just run or go through these five specific purposes. For the identification, dito we name, the purpose is to name an unknown phenomena. A phenomena, pag sinabing phenomena or phenomenon, it is a thing or event that can be observed. Okay? So that's the first identification. To name an unknown phenomena or phenomenon. Next, description. So for the description, definitely to describe a phenomenon. An example would be a study to describe quantitative changes in psychological well-being 6 months after heart implantation. So that is an example of description to describe a phenomena. Okay? That, and again, an example of description, a study to describe quantitative changes in psychological well-being 6 months after heart implantation. So, dinedescribe natin yung psychological well-being of the respondents or of the participants 6 months after the heart transplantation or implantation. Third is exploration. So when you say exploration, it elaborates on a phenomenon. Okay, it investigates the full nature of a phenomenon and provides insight. Example ng exploration natin, unexplored pattern of nausea in relation to patient character. Again, example, explored pattern of nausea in relation to patient character. And then the fourth, we have explanation. So explanation, it is the understanding of the underlying causes. So it is most of the time linked to theories. Example na explanation natin, testing model to explain exercise behavior among older adults on basis of social support. And then the last specific purpose of conducting nursing research is prediction and control. In prediction and control, many phenomena defy explanation. Atong number 4, ano? So given this case, we can make predictions and to control the phenomena based on research findings. Ang example natin dito would be Down syndrome. Okay, Down syndrome occurrence increases as the age of the mother increases. So yun yung based on a study, ano. Down syndrome occurrence increases as the age of the mother increases. So we predict here that women who gave birth at the age of 40 is at higher risk of bearing a child with Down syndrome. That is prediction. Kasi that is the fact that we have gathered. The Down syndrome occurrence increases as the age of the mother increases. So yung prediction natin, the women who gave birth at the age of 40 is at higher risk of bearing a child with Down syndrome. So we can partially control the situation by educating women of the risk. Okay, so we educate women about the risk of getting pregnant at the age 40 and above. Okay, so we encourage them to um, get pregnant earlier on their age, ano, habang bata pa sila. So that is an example of prediction and control. So those are the specific purposes of nursing research. So identification, description, exploration, explanation, prediction, and control. And then the last purpose is definitely evidence-based practice. And that will lead us to our next um, main topic, which is evidence-based practice. So let's talk about what evidence-based practice is. So when you say evidence-based nursing muna tayo, evidence-based nursing, it involves incorporation of research findings in the care of clients. Okay? So definitely in the nursing profession to. So we provide nursing care to our patient based on the evidences that we have gathered based on research siya. So that's evidence-based nursing. EBP, evidence-based practice, this is a consensus use of current best evidence in making clinical decisions about patient care. So basically, evidence-based nursing is applying the research findings in the nursing profession. Okay? So again, evidence-based nursing, applying the research findings in the nursing profession. So evidence-based practice, another definition from Paulit and Beck, it gives the emphasis of EBP, evidence-based practice, is on identifying the best available research evidence and integrating it in decision-making process and practice. So ito, evidence-based practice, ibig sabihin ito ay pag-integrate ng mga research findings, ng mga research results in the field of practice. And then, but how do we do this? How do we implement evidence-based practice? Paano ba ni-implement si EBP? That is, by letter A, you have to use your critical thinking skills to review research publications as a nurse. Okay? So definitely you use your critical thinking skills para ma-review yung mga research publications. So it entails a lot of readings. Letter B, you use your, or the next step is you use your clinical decision making skills to apply evidence to patient care. Kung ano yung applicable to your patient, that's the evidence, or that's the intervention that you can give to your patient. Now, you might be wondering why is there a shift to evidence-based practice? Kasi many nursing questions cannot be answered by a single study, right? So, sa evidence-based practice framework, it allows for consideration of other sources of evidence relevant to nursing practice. We are not limited to a single study. Okay, so tayo ay naghahanap ng other evidences. We are collecting our research results, and then we integrate them together para mas maging reliable yung interventions and care na binibigay natin to our patients. Also, remember that scientific research, or yung nursing research, for example, is the best source of evidence. Conducting research, a scientific research, is the best source of evidence. Okay, remember that. Now, to have an evidence-based practice, nurses must emphasize the use of theory-derived, research-based information over the use of evidence obtained through tradition, authority, trial and error, personal experience, and intuition whenever possible. Okay? So ito kasi yung mga sources of knowledge natin. Ang pinaka-best source of evidence, pinaka-reliable among sa nabanggit ko is the evidence-based practice or scientific research. Okay? It is not tradition, it is not authority, trial and error, personal experience, and intuition. Okay? It is scientific research. That is the best source of evidence. Okay, so now we proceed to the kinds and classification of research. Actually, in the literature we have, you can read plenty of kinds and classification of research. I'll just go over them, pero I will point out yung mga significant things that you have to know here. So first, ito yung mga kinds and classification of research. Can be according to purpose, goal, levels of investigation, types of analysis, scope, choice of answers to problems, statistical content, and time element. So, ang daming yan. So, again, hindi ko siya isa-isahin, and I will not be comprehensive in discussing each of this. Pero I'll just point out kung ano yung mga dapat yung tandaan. So, first, we have according to purpose. So, we have here predictive or prognostic research, directive research, and illuminative research. So, ito yung mga types of research that is according to the purpose why they are being conducted. Okay? Could be predictive, directive, or illuminative. Just take note of this. Next, according to goal. So, ito yung according to goal that I have discussed earlier. Ito yung na-discuss ko na kanina. Si basic research, it is also called as pure research. And the goal is, it is being done to develop, for the development of theories or to generate new knowledge. Diba? Yun yung ating discussion kanina. So that is basic research, again, to add relevant information or knowledge. Applied research naman is testing the efficacy of theories and principles through experiments. So si applied research, ito yung application of the basic research or pure research. Okay? So it has an immediate application to for example a problem. Okay? So it provides solution to a specific problem. So that is according to goal, not could either be basic research or applied research. According to the levels of investigation, can be exploratory research. So it studies the variables pertinent to a specific situation. So you will more of this kapag ka nasa design na tayo. Descriptive research, relationships of the variables. Yan yung kanyang purpose to determine the relationship among variables. Experimental research, this is the effects of the variables on each other. So pag experimental research, cause and effect relationship yung pinag-uusapan natin dito. So again, we will be more comprehensive on this kapag ka nasa research design na tayo. Next, according to the type of analysis, you have analytic approach and you have holistic approach. Okay, so just take note of this. Next, according to scope. So for according to scope, we have action research. It is done on a very limited scope to solve a particular problem. So actually, itong si action research or si AR, this is very common nowadays. AR is being performed to provide an immediate solution to a specific problem. So readily applicable yung kanyang result. So according to choice of answer to problems, could be evaluation research and developmental research. Okay, so these are other types of research na meron tayo. Okay, evaluation research and developmental research. And then, ito yung very common na ginagamit nating classification of research. You have, according to statistical content, quantitative, which is statistical. It is all about numbers. And then qualitative, it is non-statistical. It is about words. So later on my the last leg of discussion, I will be more comprehensive about quantitative and qualitative research, yung kanilang differences. And then according to element, could be historical. It describes what was, so meaning the history, the past. Descriptive, it describes what is. Experimental, it describes what will be, diba? Cause and effect. So if you do this, this will be the consequence. So that is experimental. So those are the different kinds or classifications of research. So marami sila, pero again, I pointed out kung ano yung mga kailangan yung ma-remember, such as yung quantitative versus qualitative, si exploratory, si explanatory, si descriptive. Okay, so yun yung mga sample na dideepen pa yung knowledge nyo when we reach the research design discussion or topic. Okay, so we will now discuss the paradigms. Okay, so paradigms. A scientific paradigm is a whole system of thinking. Okay, so a paradigm is a set of basic beliefs or metaphysics that deals with ultimates or first principle. So by the way, that definition is from Lincoln and Guba, 1985. Again, paradigm, a set of basic beliefs or metaphysics that deals with ultimates or first principle. So, si paradigm natin, it includes basic assumptions, the important questions to be answered or puzzles to be solved, the research techniques to be used, and what good scientific research is. So, yun yung pag sinabing paradigm, yun yung mga ang kalakip sa paradigm. Okay, binibigyan kanya ng guide such as the assumptions, the important questions or puzzles to be solved, the research techniques na pwede mong gamitin, and what good scientific research is, yung idea. Okay? So, yun yung ating paradigm. Sabi nga, choose the world you see and see the world you choose, from Jonathan Lockwood. Okay, choose the world you see and see the world you choose. That is applicable or that is related to paradigm. When we talk of paradigm, mamimili ka kasi what is the paradigm, what is your belief or your philosophy, like a philosophy na pina-follow mo. Okay, you choose what is your paradigm or what is your philosophy. And in so choosing, you will see the world na pinili mo that you choose. Okay, so that's it. Next we have another definition of paradigm lang. It is a worldview that defines for its holder the nature of the world, the individual's place in it, and the range of possible relationships to the world and its parts. So it's a worldview. So Pollitt and Beck 2008, paradigms for human inquiry are often characterized in terms of the ways in which they respond to basic philosophical questions. So philosophical questions like what is the nature of reality? That is ontology or ontologic. Okay? So kasi meron tayong mga philosophical questions na nire-raise before. Okay, so for the ontology, ang question na nire-raise natin is what is the nature of reality? And then for epistemologic or epistemology, the question na nire-raise natin would be what is the relationship between the inquirer and those being studied? Okay? So, yan, that is paradigms. So, paradigm used in research. The first paradigm na ginagamit natin in research would be the positivism. So, positivism, it assumes that the laws operate according to strict logical reasoning and precise quantitative data and often use experiments, surveys, and statistics. So, yung paradigm guys na that dominated nursing research for decades is known as this one, si positivism. It is also called as logical positivism. Now, adherents of positivism assume that nature is basically ordered and regular, and that an objective reality exists independent of human observation. In other words, the world is assumed not to be merely a creation of the human mind. So, ang pinaka emphasize na or emphasis ni positivism is objectivity. Okay, yun na nga, you have precise quantitative data, experiments, surveys, and statistics. Ito yung mga ginagamit niya. Okay, the techniques being used in positivism. Okay, objectivity, experiments, surveys, and statistics. So we have August Comte, that is this one. It is his picture. He is the founder of positivist philosophy. So he coined the term positivism. Okay, so siya yung nagpasimula ng positivism natin. So that is positivism. That's the first paradigm. Next, we have post-positivism. So human knowledge is not based on unchallengeable, rock-solid foundations. So knowledge can be modified or withdrawn in the light of further investigation. So strict positivist thinking has been challenged kasi during that time, and few researchers adhere to the tenets of pure positivism. konti lang yung gumamit nung positivism na discuss natin kanina. Okay, so konti lang yung gumamit ng pure positivism. Okay, so ito ay challenge yung thinking or yung philosophy ng positivism kanina. It was challenged by some by people during those time. So in the post-positivist paradigm, so dito sa post-positivism, there is still a belief in reality and a desire to understand it. But post-positivists recognize the impossibility of total objectivity. Okay, so yun yung sa post-positivism. So they recognize the impossibility of total objectivity. Diba yung positivism kanina, they are objective. Okay, their philosophy is more on objectivity. So si post-positivism, sabi nila, impossible yung total objectivity na hinuhold ng mga positivism or ng mga positivists. So they do, however, itong mga post-positivism, however, see objectivity as a goal and strive to be as neutral as possible. So, ang ginawa ni post-positivism, they see objectivity as a goal and again, strive to be as neutral as possible. So now we have here in the picture, see Sir Karl Popper. He started as a post-positivism. So he believed that scientific knowledge is provisional. Okay, and the best we can do at the moment. So for Popper, science should attempt to disprove a theory. Okay, china-challenge natin yung knowledge base or yung information that we currently have. We tend, sabi ni Sir Karl Popper, we have to challenge. Okay, science should attempt to disprove a theory rather than attempt to continually support theoretical hypothesis. That's the reason why kilala si Sir Karl Popper sa the falsification principle. The falsification principle, again, it came from Sir Karl Popper. So that's for the post-positivism. Okay. Next, we have another paradigm. So pangatlo na to. So the first is positivism. Second is post-positivism. Third is naturalistic. So naturalistic reality is not a fixed entity, but rather a construction of the individuals participating in the research. Reality exists within a context and many constructions are possible. So itong si naturalistic, it is also known as constructivist paradigm. Again, it is also known as constructivist paradigm. So findings from a constructivist inquiry are the product of the interaction between the inquirer and the participants. Kaya siya naturalistic, natural, okay, natural lang dapat yung mga bagay-bagay. Okay, and reality exists within the context. Okay, within that context. So again, yung product, yung findings from a constructivist inquiry are the product of the interaction between the inquirer and the participants. Now, the idea, it came from Thales and was carried on with Galileo Galilei. Okay, so that's naturalistic paradigm or constructivist paradigm. Now, we have here terms under the naturalistic or constructivist paradigm. Deconstruction, it is taking apart old ideas and structures, and reconstruction is putting ideas and structures together in new ways. So, very different yung dalawa. Okay, so sa deconstruction, you will take apart yung mga old ideas and structures. So, you will try to like analyze or Paghihimay-himayin mo yung mga old ideas and structures, taking apart them, itong mga obsolete information. And si reconstruction naman, it is like you are synthesizing. Okay? So you are putting ideas and structure together in new ways. Okay, and then let's the fourth paradigm is interpretive. Okay, interpretive is the access to realities only through social constructions such as language, consciousness, and shared meanings. So Schultz, Sicurel, Garfinkel, and the Chicago schools of sociology are the origins of interpretive paradigm. And then we have critical paradigm. So it aims to critique and transform the social, political, cultural, economic, ethnic, and gender structures that constrain and exploit humankind by engagement in confrontation, even conflict. So this is developed by Horkheimer, Adorno, and Marcuse at the Frankfurt School of Critical Thinking. And then you have here the feminist paradigm. So ito common itong naririnig na. Okay, so feminism definitely. It aims to emancipate women and improve their lives. So we tend to liberate, we free uh, women, okay, and provide equality sa mga babae. To list, this is to elucidate bias and inequity in the way women are treated and to fill in the gaps in our knowledge about women. So wala na itong figure na to. Ito yung mga roles na ginagampanan lang dati ng mga babae, di ba? Plain housewife, doing all the household chores. Ayan. Pero again, for feminist paradigm, as a feminist, again, we want to provide equal opportunity to all women. Kung ano yung kaya ng mga men, definitely, kaya rin ng mga babae. Okay, so this is the feminist paradigm. So hindi na ito obsolete na yung ganyang pagtingin natin sa mga babae. Okay? So categories of research. Okay, so yun yung ating paradigms, ano? We are done with our discussion for the paradigms na ginagamit in research. Ang common sa mga na-discuss natin are the naturalistic or the constructivist paradigm and si positivism and post-positivist uh, again positivist and post-positivist paradigm. So ito yung mga common. Okay? So yun yung common na ma-encounter nyo in our discussion of nursing research. Si naturalistic, si positivism, and post-positivism. Now, ito na yung last leg of our discussion wherein we are going to um, compare lang the categories of research, si quantitative and qualitative research. So, first, we discuss quantitative research. So, this is allied with positivist tradition. Quantitative research imposes control mechanism. Okay, ito yung prediction and control kanina na sinasabi natin as a part of a characteristic of research. So, quantitative, so we tend to control and then we see the consequence or the outcome. And then quantitative research is about empirical evidences, meaning objective reality. Again, pag sinabing empirical, these are the things that we can observe using our senses. Okay? Objective reality gathered yan by our senses. Empirical is based on testing, experience, and it is a reliable source of data, yung ating empirical evidence. So data gathered through quantitative research is by using structured instruments. So gumagamit tayo, for example, ng mga standardized tool or standardized instruments like questionnaire. Okay? So yun yung ginagamit natin for quantitative research. And then associated si quantitative research with numeric information associated with numbers yan, such as statistics. So quantitative often termed as hard science, okay, more on numbers, objectivity, and measurement. And the result usually of quantitative research is generalizable. It can be generalized to a greater population. Okay, generalizability. On the other hand, pag sinabi natin qualitative research, it is associated naman with naturalistic inquiry. Si quantitative kanina, that is for positivist tradition, positivism paradigm siya. Okay? Whereas si qualitative, this is naturalistic paradigm yung kanyang sinusunod. It explores on issues of human complexity such as the experiences of an individual. We gather data through interviews and narrations, and the researcher then synthesizes on the data verbalized by the participants. So, si qualitative research naman, it is associated with words, context-based siya, and subjective experiences of the participants. Um, Ito yung priority or ito yung binibigyang halaga or emphasis ni qualitative research. Okay? So, it's more, kung si quantitative is with numbers, qualitative naman is with words. Okay, so ito lang yung ating bird's eye view of the differences between quanti and quali. Okay, ito, mahalaga yung malaman to, ano, because this is the type of research na common, na category of research na ginagamit natin commonly. Okay? So, we have here the quali approach or the quali research. And then this one is a quantitative approach. So, for the type of data, si quali, it is about real, it is rich and deep yung data na kinukuha natin from our participants. Meaning ng real kasi galing siya sa real experience of our participants. Rich yung data, meaning full and in-depth yung ating information or data na ginagather kay patient. Okay, kaya siya deep. It's an in-depth data gathering. Si quantitative naman, again, commonly, ito ay hard science and replicable. Ibig sabihin, it can be replicated kasi you just have to follow the designs na in-stipulate nung specific study na gusto mong gayahan. Now, according to the example of method, qualitative, depth interviewing. So, we conduct interview sa mga participants. Whereas kay quantitative, we use survey, we use questionnaire, okay, to obtain or to gather data. Sample size, so konti lang yung ating participants sa qualitative approach. Whereas kay quantitative approach, generally large. So, can be hundreds of thousands to hundred thousands ang ating respondents kay quantitative. Pero again, for qualitative, very small. Okay, from 5, 10, 20, 30 participants lang. Type of questions for quali, we ask how, why, and then yung probing ability or probing questions na pwedeng gawin ni researcher, that is very important. Okay? We ask how or why. While for quantitative, hindi tayo nagpo-probing kasi sila respondents, they just answer questions or yung survey na structured na. Okay? Nagbibigay lang tayo ng questionnaire, sasagutan na nila yon. So, there is no need to probe. Um, Amount of information per respondent, si qualitative, very large yung information na nakukuha sa interview. Whereas for quantitative approach, it varies. Okay? So, it depends on the question stipulated doon sa iyong questionnaire. Okay? Or sa survey. Pero, like, ano lang siya, pwedeng rating scale lang siya. Like, you rate your, for example, your answer 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. So, mamimili lang si respondents doon. Next type of analysis, si qualitative approach, interpretation of meaning of respondents. Si researcher yung gumagawa yan. And then for quantitative approach, we use statistical methods. So, numeric po. Okay, si quantitative is numeric, while si qualitative, it is more of words. Orientation, si quali, process-oriented, and it is dynamic, while si quantitative, outcome-oriented, fixed. Okay, si quantitative, very rigid yung kanyang structure, yung kanyang design, while si qualitative, dynamic, is flexible. Ito na yun. So, yung number 8 na yun, flexibility. So, more flexible, less structured si quali. And then si quanti, structured siya. Okay, so that's the main difference between quanti and qualitative research. And before I end my presentation, I would like to leave you with this with this quotation from Albert Einstein. Not everything that counts can be counted, and not everything that can be counted counts. I hope that you have learned something from this discussion. And if you have questions, please raise them when we have our synchronous meeting. So with that, thank you very much for listening and God bless you.